Fellas, I've been on the grind all weekend long inside of Anthem. We're about 30 hours in. I'm going to be giving my feedback on the first 30 hours of Anthem first thing tomorrow morning. With that being said, I've had so many people jump in the chat this past weekend on Twitch and ask me what I think about Trials and why it's not coming back to Destiny. So today's video is essentially like part 2 of me talking about why Trials is not coming back. We made this video back in December, actually December the 1st to be exact. We talked about why Trials was not coming back and why it probably wouldn't be coming back for the entirety of Destiny 2. Now, at that time, which was in December, I stated that the reason was because Bungie was getting ready to go head-to-head against Anthem. They wanted to elevate the power element of the game. They wanted everyone to feel powerful, and in doing so, balancing the sandbox was going to be something difficult. And nothing exposes the sandbox better than Trials. We saw it weekend after weekend. We saw the things that were broken, and not only that, people got to look at it and watch it every single weekend. There's holes in the sandbox. There always has been, but they become more and more apparent, especially in Trials. Now, two things have actually changed since then. Number one, Apex Legends has recently launched. And I know you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with anything? Considering how many players Apex has added, majority of them being PvP players, you're probably seeing a lot of your favorite Destiny 2 streamers playing Apex Legends. And that is because something like Trials, which would be a weekend event activity for most streamers, is not going to be present, and now it's been confirmed by Bungie that it will remain on hiatus indefinitely. And number two, Bungie separated from Activision. They are the largest self-publishing studio, I think, in the world, right? In the world? I don't know. They're one of the largest self-publishing studio. Now, with all that being said, that sounds grand and all, but now it's all on you. As in, Activision is no longer footing the bill. It is all on Bungie now to pay for all of those things, and simultaneously, their reputation is at stake more than ever. Now, what does this have to do with Trials? Like I said, Trials exposes the sandbox better than any other game type ever did, and it did it all over Twitch. And with the current flaws that we see inside of the sandbox, it would expose it more even now. So that's strike one. Bungie doesn't want to taint their reputation that they can't control their sandbox by presenting something like Trials into the game. But to add to that point, DDoSers got really out of hand with Trials, especially last summer. We were getting hit offline quite regularly, and it's very apparent that there's nothing that Bungie can put in place that can protect players. Now, they did ban people, but it was temporary bans. I remember Clay got banned, but he only got banned for like 6 months. Whatever the case is, DDoSing became a major issue in Trials that I really think Bungie just doesn't want to put up with. Second thing, which is honestly more important than all of those things, is allocation of resources. I guarantee everyone at Bungie right now is bowed up on Destiny 3 and what's to come. Now that Bungie is footing the bill, I guarantee everything that they're talking about at Bungie Studios is to figure out how to sell their game again. And they want to sell D3 on the pretense that, hey, we're Bungie of old, we're back, we're self-published now. This is the Destiny experience you always wished for and hoped for. And I guarantee that that game is going to have to drop in 2020. I mean, we've already known they've been working on it since Destiny 2 launch. Now, with all of that being said, adding Trials to the mix pulls people off that team to pay attention to what's going on with Trials, exposes things in the sandbox. So now people are actually having to fix things in the sandbox constantly to bring balance, which they probably should anyways, but it's going to be more apparent because now everybody's watching it on Twitch. And on top of that, you can't charge for Trials. Hold on, boys. I know that sounds bad, but can you charge for Trials right now? If they were to bring Trials in right now and launch it, can you make any money off of Trials? You can't. Destiny 2 and its roadmap is already set in stone. Maybe some small changes here and there, but I don't see Trials part of that equation. I don't see them including it because it doesn't add anything in terms of revenue. And even though it would be a huge win with Bungie and the community, they are working against the clock right now because Bungie is a studio located in Washington at Bellevue, which is a very expensive place to be located, with 600 employees that are probably each drawing close to 100K a year. Payroll is high, overhead is high, and they are probably a good 1.5 to 2 years out from presenting their next game. So I hope they have a lot in savings. Now, I know this seems like a very depressing video. My God, really? Is this what we really need to talk about? I just like playing video games and I don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but it is a reality. And the fact is, Trials is not worth, or at least in Bungie's eyes, not worth the time and resources or the weekly frustration. Because yes, every weekend we were always like, hey, this guy's DDoSing. Hey, This thing's still broken in your sandbox. Come on, Bungie, get it right. And on top of that, there's really no way to turn $1 from Trials, a piece of content that we already owned. If they brought it back, they would have to bring it back and it'd be free, which again, I have nothing against. I love free stuff, but I'm just laying out the reality of the situation. So guys, that is my reason or my guess to why Trials is probably not coming. We called it a few months ago. Turns out we were right. Now I'm laying out, considering all the other elements at play here, why you're not going to be seeing Trials of Osiris or Trials of the Nine back in Destiny. Now, my opinion, it's not a smart move. You got Apex Legends out. It's soaking up a lot of your PvP players. You've got Anthem out now, which is soaking up a lot of your PvE players. And in my eyes, if I was Bungie, I wouldn't go for the big win. I would just go for a single win, a small win, a slight win. A win with your community and be happy about that. I promise you, there's some creative people at Bungie. Super creative people. They care about their craft. They care about their art. They care about what they present to you. And they want to knock it out of the park. They know that they're a self-publishing studio. And after dealing with Activision for years, I guarantee they don't want to be looked at in that same light any longer. They want to hear and feel the praises that a studio like CD Projekt Red receives. And I want nothing more than for whatever Bungie presents to us to just ball out. But Bungie, we understand that that can't happen right now. So a small win with your community is completely fine with us. So guys, that is my thoughts on Trials, what's going down. As far as it not coming back, yes, it will remain on hiatus indefinitely. With all of that being said, who knows? Maybe Bungie might just surprise us. Maybe this summer, something launches that has nothing to do with Trials. But who knows? Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.